Welcome back to the On the Block podcast. We're your host. I'm Dory.
And I'm Khadeja.
And this is the show where we cover all things Big Brother behind the scenes and on the screen. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. So this week was a tad bit boring, but nonetheless there was some drama.
Yes.
So like we usually do, we're going to have Khadeja kick it off with the HOH and what happened in the house on the show, and then I'll cover the live feed.
All right. So this week we're going to be covering week 5. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. This week, it was one of the snoozier weeks. Not much really happened. We got to see what this HOH would be like in power, but we're just gonna go through this week, kind of quickly, and then the difference we're gonna do this week is week 6, which is the week that we're currently in on this date that we're filming. It gets a little spicier, if I may say. So we're gonna go into week 6 a little bit into this video, and then in our next video finish it out. But like I said, this week we had Jared. Jared wins HOH. He's been fiending for one. He's been going hard for every HOH. He wants to win it bad. So it was down to him and Izzy. And your boy finally got it. So, we finally get to see, what Jared would do with some power. But, he doesn't have to think too hard about his nominations. As we know, hit the people that he's aligned with. And Cerise specifically, they don't really care who goes, just as long as it's Cam, Red, or Bowie. Because now Bowie was with them, but, she's kind of on this outs, a little bit more with Cam and Red. So as long as any 3 of them go, the house is good. But obviously there's a lot of mistrust and miscommunication and just overall just doesn't like the man. So a lot of people are really rooting for Cameron to go this week. Shocker. I feel like this man has been a target for I don't even know how long. So with Jared having Cameron and Red as his targets this week and the people that he's most likely gonna put up, he decides to have separate conversations with each. The first one started with Cameron, where he kind of lets Cameron know, hey, look, it's probably gonna be him and Red again. Cameron is like, kind of like he's not gonna look Cameron in his face, and necessarily say you're the target. So Jared is making it seem like to Cameron that the target is going to be Red. And Cameron, wanting to, protect his own game, he's like, hey, look, Red is my guy, he's my friend, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna roll over for him. I'm not gonna put my game ahead of his, which I kind of understand, because you have your day ones, you have your people that you're really aligned with, but when push comes to shove and you guys are possibly going to be on the block together, you kind of have to do your own thing. So he lets Jared know, hey, if Red is the one that you're targeting, as long as I'm going to be kept safe, go ahead and do that. Jared kind of not really liking that, not really kind of like, I guess he doesn't understand or something like that. But he's basically like, Cameron doing that just showed a lot of disloyalty to him. And if you're going to do that to your number one ally, that's giving me even more of a reason not to like you. So, and wanting Red to know, the type of person that he's aligned with, the type of person that's supposed to have his back, what he's saying behind his back, he lets Red know all the things that Cameron said. And
I think with that situation, Cameron did say, like, he's not comfortable sitting next to Jared. I'm not sure if that was on the show,
that he's not comfortable
but Cameron
sitting next
did. Cameron did say that he wasn't comfortable sitting next to Red, but he also did say that Red's not cutting him the check for $750,000. So, although, like, if that's your target him, like, it's your game, not mine. That's still my boy, and I don't want to be the perpetual pawn every single week, and you guys think you just put me on the block and whoever I sit next to goes home. Like, that's not how this game's going to play, at least for Cam.
Yeah.
In Cam's eyes. So he does show a little bit of resistance, but not enough to where Jared's like, okay, maybe I should rethink noms.
But, like, to be fair, though, like, I don't know, maybe, like, he just wants a reason not to like him, but I don't know, maybe, like, I feel like Jared in that situation just showed a lack of, like, BB knowledge. because I felt like that conversation was very typical for anyone that's on the block next to their friend. Like, he didn't bash him.
Yeah.
He didn't like really like went out of his way to destroy his game, but he's like, look, I'm here for myself. That's why it was just like when he kind of like went to wet red and kind of twisted the whole situation. I'm like, huh? Like anyone that's on the block would say that. Like, it's not like he's not going up there and like, oh yeah, Red said this about you and Red said this about them, you know, like trying to paint this bigger target on him. He's just trying to protect himself. But like I said, I feel like maybe it's just really lack of like gameplay and game knowledge, or like he really just wanted to twist Cameron's words to Red. I'm hoping it's that, because that would be way smarter.
Yeah, he definitely twisted his words, because he told Red things that Cameron just did not say, or like alluded to things that Cameron didn't say, just to make it seem that Cam was going against him and throwing him under the bus, so that they would break up their bromance, because that was their main goal with nominating the both of them. They wanted to split them so that there wouldn't be a chance that they try and save each other.
And in that situation, like, it kind of like made me look at Red kind of like sideways, because like what we'll learn, and I'm pretty sure that was probably already discussed on live feeds, but specifically in like later parts of the week, it's learned that Red never even has a conversation with Cameron. He just hears what Jared said and kind of just like ran with it, which is insane, because like, give the guy at least a benefit of a doubt for a conversation, because I feel like if he like actually let Cameron explained what happened and what was actually said, they could have ended this week on better terms. So, but yeah, after all that, obviously we have Cameron and Red on the block, and they are initially nominated for eviction this week.
Yeah, so Red and Cameron are nominated now, which is typical. We see that. Not much really happened with them being nominated that I feel like is worth talking about. I feel like everybody else in the house kind of turned up more than Red and Cam. I think the biggest thing with them was the fact that you know, Jared said Cam was throwing Red under their bus, and then Red got mad and just didn't say anything, and then they like, just kind of separated for the rest of the week, and that was that.
He just kind of went mute, and like it was just like,
and
whatever.
Yeah,
they probably didn't even have it. They probably didn't even have like another interaction until like after the meeting or something.
Yeah, which was kind of weird, because if I was Red, I would have said something to Cam. You're supposed to be my bro, and like, you say like
no conversation.
What kind of gameplay was that? It's kind of like Red sealed his fate at that point, but hey, he told Julie that he gets a little hot-headed, so he had to simmer down. But he simmered down for 5 days too long. Yeah, he simmered for a little too long, because had he said something to Cam, they could have worked something out to keep both of them safe in the house, and you know, but that's ultimately what they were trying to avoid. But anyways, so during this week, we all know that Matt saved Jag, and that was organized by Suri. So with Jared winning this HOH or whatever, nominating Cam and Red, Jag is like just still trying to understand this vote. Like, he's just trying to understand why he was unanimously nominated when he had people like America in his face saying that she wanted him to stay. Blue wanted Jag to stay. Like, he was just trying to understand. He even was bringing up the Riley vote. Like, Jag, we are for
you're here another week. You're safe.
Live in the moment. Like, why are you worried about Riley?
A lot of people don't get. You're gonna screw yourself, question it too much. Let it go, and maybe come back to this when you're like HOH or something, and like you could be like, hey, what happened with that? But you don't have these type of conversations when you have no power to back it up. Just relax.
So the whole thing with Matt saving Jag and Suri being in on this, it's so Suri could just, you know, basically cover up her so she could basically cover up her tracks, you know, like be protected on all sides no matter who wins. Suri just needs to be safe. So Jag, Matt, and Suri formed this little secret alliance. And we know that Suri has Matt wrapped around her finger. We all know that Jag and Matt have been close since week 1. It's really just determining how close Jag and Suri are, and if Suri can make Jag sway to her a little more. But they do make a secret alliance. They have a little handshake and everything.
Suri and alliance.
And yeah,
they just click, huh?
So that's just another thing to add on the plethora of alliances in this game. So freaking like crazy how many alliances there are this year. But I think the biggest thing to note with Suri is that she is on a lot of people's radar. And I honestly did not expect this soon.
What?
And I feel like a lot of it has to do with America. Like, okay, we all know, like, they all know that Suri, has played these games, but they just...
I have been saying
they're
for
like,
weeks now, she is not just gonna sit there pretty forever, okay?
But it's crazy because she's on these people's radar, but they're scared to target her. Everyone is like, Suri's such a game player, like she knows what she's doing. Jag and Blue had a conversation in the scary room, and Jag was basically like, who do you think's running the house? And Blue's like, Suri, definitely, like she's the smartest one, she calls all the shots. Sure. This, that, and the third. But Blue would rather align with Suri than target her, which is, kind of smart, because
like if they were to nominate Suri right now, I mean, technically, I guess they would have the votes, but would they really? Like, Jared is not going to vote her out. Matt's not going to vote her out. Felicia's not going to vote her out. Izzy's not going to vote her out. Mimi's not going to vote her out. Like, and Jared is probably going to do everything in his power to make sure Blue doesn't vote her out. It's like, it's not. I feel like it's not that they don't want to go after these people. It's just that they just don't.
They don't have the manpower behind it to go through with it. They don't have the leverage to actually pull it off. Which, is understandable, considering how many people Suri's aligned with. But I think something to note is, at least for me that I've noticed, is that, like, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Damn. They don't know that Suri, like, they know Suri's running things, but they don't know who's close to her. Like, I don't think anyone's suspecting Matt being super tight with Suri outside of, like, Jared, Izzy. Outside of the obvious, like, Blue and them, they don't know that Matt is super close with Suri. They don't, like... so I think a lot of it has to do with the association. Maybe they're not sure if they could pull it off, but she is on a lot of people's radar, and I think that's something that we need to keep an eye out, because we could see Suri on the block.
I mean, yeah, I 100% believe that if America gets an HOH, Suri is touching that block. It doesn't matter if she doesn't think she has the votes or not. She's touching that block.
Yeah. And America has a lot to do with putting this bug in people's ears. She literally tells Corey on the Hammock, if she were to win HOH, she'd put Suri, Felicia, Suri, Izzy, Felicia, because she is tired of their power in the house. She's tired of them running things.
Me too.
And, it's getting annoying for her, and she doesn't like that. But again, there's a lot. I think that's what it is. They have a lot of blind spots. America's absolutely right. We all know America is hitting the nail on the head with that one. But she doesn't know that her biggest blind spot in this game is Corey. She doesn't know that Suri is very close with Corey.
Like, really, like, because obviously, like, I feel like I had a lot of, how do I say it? Like, I had a lot of expectations for Suri in this game, right? Like, I didn't really know her in Survivor, but, like, I heard a lot about her before coming into this game. So I expected good gameplay. I expected manipulating. I expected all of that. But what I really didn't expect from her, when I feel like she does differently than people in this house, is like she has her core people that she's tight with, that she's probably always around. Like, there's a lot of people that could be like, oh yeah, Suri is close to Izzy and Felicia. But aside from them two, no one sees anything else. Like, nothing else.
Yeah.
Like she's aware that there's no hiding how close she is with Izzy and Felicia, and she understands that. But like the way she's literally able to like weasel her way in with like freaking everyone is insane to me. Like you really don't know. Like if she was on the block, like you really don't know who the hell would vote to keep her and who would vote to kick her out. Like you really wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So America tells this information to Corey, and Corey is like, So he goes and he starts running his mouth to Izzy and Jared and Felicia. And
really?
I think something that I'm starting to...
He told all of them?
He did talk to Izzy, and he did talk to Jared.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know. And I think something I'm starting to notice with Corey that I'm not liking is he's a little two-faced. I understand that, you know, he's a super fan. He understands what's going on in the game a little better than most people, but he is a little blinded in the fact that he's not aware that his flip-floppiness is very noticeable. Mm-hmm. Like, you have a whole showmance with America, but then you're going and running your mouth to Izzy and Jared about America not being trustworthy. She's saying this, that, and the third, that she's going to target Cherie, all that stuff. Like, you're taking information from America and bringing it to your allies, and then they're bringing stuff to you, and, like, you're siding with them when you talk to them, and then you're siding with America when you talk to America. It's like, pick one. Like, if you're going to do that, be a little more on the low with it, because everybody noticed that, and Cherie has even told Jared, I think last week, that he can't trust you. And rightfully so, because why are you flip-flopping so obviously like that? Like, don't sit here laid up with America and then go badmouth her to the next person. Like, be a little more strategic with how you give off that kind of information. Like, there's a way to do it, and you're not doing it the best way. And I would hate to see Corey get on the block, because I really love Corey, and I want to see him in jury. But it's like, these little things that you do,
you know what I think?
It seems like they pick up on it more than the normal player.
You know what I think might be Corey's problem a little bit? With him being a super fan, I think he's seen, like, over and over again, like, how much, like, showmanship destroys people's game. So I feel like he goes above and beyond to, like, try to seem like, hey, look, I may seem all buddy up and all showmanced up with America, but if push comes to shove, I have no problem kicking her out the door. So I feel like she's trying to prove that, but also at the same time, based on just how Jared just got mad at Cameron for, like, basically flipping on Red, somebody else might look at, hey, if he's supposed to be so close with America and he's talking so much crap behind her back, like, who's he really loyal to? Like, where's the loyalty really going? Because it seems like you're loyal to everybody, and that can't be the case in this house. So when push comes to shove, and who's going to be loyal to? And at the end of the day, it's going to be him. And people start going to realize, hey, Corey don't care about nobody. He will throw anybody under the bus. He's not really aligned with anybody. Yeah. Corey's just here for Corey. And once people see that image of you, you're out.
Yeah, and that's a good read, because that's exactly how they feel. They see Corey as untrustworthy, but they need the numbers, so they're obviously going to keep him close and take any information that they can get. But, you know, he tells Izzy he doesn't see America going far in the game. She'll get like 8th or 9th place. She's not really doing a great job at playing the game. He even goes and says that Felicia is really bad at Big Brother. And I'm like, Corey, like, you can't say these things. Like, tell the camera, don't tell the players. Like, please. Just be a little more mindful of what you say, because it's going to bite you in the ass. I'm telling you. And I'm like,
this may sound like the weirdest sentence that ever came out of my mouth. And I'm like, why the hell are you telling America the truth? Why the hell are you telling Jared the truth? What the hell are you doing? He's just telling the truth
somebody
to
lie to.
Like,
yeah. Like, pick someone to lie to. And even Cherie said this. Like, Cherie had told Bowie later in the week, like, this game is built off dishonesty. Mm-hmm. You can't get mad that someone's lying to you, or, you know, if you're trying to play the truth game all the time. Like, it's not going to work like that. This game is built off dishonesty. So you have to learn to be okay with that. Mm-hmm. So you can't sit here and tell everybody the truth all the time, because then you're going to get blindsided, and then your feelings are going to get hurt. And then look, all your allies are going to be at the house. Because you want it to be honest all the time. Learn how to
Bro,
lie.
that was so
There's
real.
no rules in Big
Like,
Brother.
that was so real.
Like
I saw that, like, on the episode
super.
yesterday, and it was just like, hey, look, Bowie, bro, like, you're hurt. I get it. You got left out of this vote. I get it. But I kind of felt like it was, like, in that situation, she was, like, crying and, like, really distraught, and was just like, I just wish you guys would be honest with me. No, they can't. Because if they were, you would have took your emotional ass and went straight and told people that you're not supposed to tell. Like, how you're acting right now is exactly why people constantly lie to you. And even Cameron, that's your supposedly ally right now, even him, he's like, I gotta watch what I tell Bowie. I'm not really sure. Like, Bowie, no one can tell you shit.
Yeah. And we've known this for, like, since Hisom's eviction week, we knew that
Bowie,
people couldn't tell Bowie anything.
Is like, this may sound like such a dickhead thing to say, because it's like people always say it, but Bowie, the only way you're gonna last in this game is because no one is going to waste an HOH getting rid of you.
Yeah, like,
you're gonna go to double.
You're a easy double eviction, or you make it to final 3 and get cut. Like,
yeah, like, no one is gonna be like, hey, let's get Bowie out of here this week. Like,
yeah, no one's gonna spend 7 days plotting on your eviction. Like, let's get that real. That's why Victoria lasted as long as she did in that house in season 16.
To be fair, Derek kind of held her hand and walked her to the end. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, Bowie's a number, but, like, again, she's in the same boat. Like, no one's gonna waste their time trying to evict Victoria when she's an easy number, a guaranteed number for one side.
Yeah. Same with Bowie.
But that's all the messiness I have post nominees. So let's get into the veto.
So we have the veto. And players are fit for the veto competition. We have Felicia, Red, Jared, Cameron, America, and Matt. So post veto, at this point, Corey and Jared already had their conversation where Corey basically tells Jared that, America's plan to put these people on the block. So Jared is kind of already trying to find some way to, like, I don't know, push America's buttons. Like, I feel like he's just like, all right, kind of a little hyped up. So he starts going around being like to Corey, like, hey, I feel like America's throwing these competitions. Like, look what she did last week with Cameron. Like, and it's just like, hey, yo, like, go tell your girl that if she throw this competition, and I feel like she's throwing this competition, she's going on the block. And Corey's basically like, okay, Jared, where the hell is this coming from? Please calm down. Yeah. Like, you have no valid proof that America's throwing every competition she's in. Like, please kind of just, like, focus on this week and calm down. But we all know that Jared's not having it. And in his DR session, Corey says this perfectly. He's like, he says, Jared is a person who, when he gets this idea in his head, he refuses to believe anything else. Anything else that anyone says or anyone trying to make him change his mind is not going to work, which is really freaking dangerous for this game. Because, like, if he's ever on the block and he's trying to be like, hey, like, if you save me this week, I got you next week, people are never going to believe him. So the fact that people see that you're stubborn and freaking pig-headed and won't change your mind, or, like, if you feel like something's happening, like, you're not going to be swayed in any way, that is kind of really bad for your game. So Jared basically lets Corey know. I'm not sure if he actually said the words, but he basically was like, go tell her. So Corey, being freaking honest Abe, goes and be like, hey, America, Jared is really upset. Like, he really thinks you're throwing these competitions. So, like, you gotta go out there and make sure that, like, he sees that you're actively winning it. And to be fair, like, America really had no intentions of throwing this competition, honestly. Like, I felt like this kind of came, like, out of nowhere with Jared. I think it's because, like, he knew he had bigger fish to fry with Cameron, so he really couldn't put America on the block. So he was just trying to find any way to get, like, some sort of power under her. Is like, if you throw this, you're going on the block type of thing.
Yeah, and I loved America's bit when she was like, Jared, I stood in that pressure cooker for 14 hours. You dropped as soon as the lights came.
Like,
Please.
throw in
I was
what?
like,
Like,
eat him up. Yes, eat him up. Oh my goodness. But I do want to cut in because this was the week of controversies in the house, and as we said last week, Khadeja doesn't watch the live feeds, so she doesn't know what happened. So I'm gonna let her know, and I'm gonna let y'all know, cause whew,
I'm a little hot.
it nearly made national hotlines. Like it was up there with Luke.
Now, bro?
So as you said, that whole debacle with Corey, America, Jared happened. Corey and Jared get into a heated argument in the HOH room. And Corey's basically like, everything you said. And in addition, it's like, he was like, Jared, why are you even talking to me like this? Like, the way I talk game to you and the way I talk game to Izzy, like, it's different. So don't sit here and come up to me trying to say something like we don't have a connection. Like, they've had a final two since week one. Yeah. They strategize. They talk openly to each other. They do things in this game that final twos do.
So Corey was like,
so for him to even sit there,
like offended that he's coming to him.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, we're supposed to be in this. Like, why are you even coming to me like that? And Jared's so on edge and so heated about America. He calls her the R word. And him calling America...
He called her Reed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Jared calls America the R word.
That wasn't caught on live feeds. Twitter are like, get Jared out of here?
Yeah. So everybody wants Jared out the house. It was to the point where we had the Special Olympics comment under Jag's post on Instagram that his family had made. It was like a statement because, Jag works with that community. And
Jag works with special need, or Jared?
Yeah, Jag works with the Special Olympics. He's in that community. He's done a lot to help that community out. So his family thought it was nice to put like a statement, kind of, putting Jag in line, like, this is not what he's lined to with. This is not what his brand is. He does a lot for them. So I don't want, like, they just don't want that kind of event to get attached to Jag. Special Olympics got a hold of it. A lot of the tabloids and the news outlets got a hold of it. And people want Jared out the house because they're like, if Luke says the N word and he gets removed, why isn't Jared getting removed for using a similar word?
It's like, I'm not going to say it's crazy because, like, obviously, it's like one of those things where it was like 5 years ago, somebody getting in trouble for saying this 5-7 years ago, like somebody getting in trouble for saying this would be like a joke. And, today it's a lot different. And even like me, like personally, like I really try not to like say that word. And like if people would say that word at me, because honestly, people use at my job, people use that word all the time. And I'm like, don't say that word. It's like one of those like situations where it's just like, Jared is probably just like, and it was like the same thing. It was the same thing with Luke. I almost forgot his name for a second. Like people just go on this show and they're just like, just thinking they're at home with their homies, thinking that they're just around their people, like not even realizing that, like, yo, you are on TV, my guy. Like they can hear every word you say. But it's just like, yeah, I definitely see like it being like a lot of controversy because, like, I mean, in theory, they're right. Like, if you're gonna send Luke home for a racial slur, you should send Jared home for. What would that be considered? Like, I don't even know what that would be considered. Is it considered a slur?
It's like
an ableist?
It's like a derogatory term, like an offensive word. It's not. It's really shunned upon in the world, like that word. So people did not take that lightly. He did apologize later. I don't know if it was directly to America because again, they were cutting feeds a lot.
I mean, did anyone even realize that like there was like in the house at least like that there was a problem with what he said, or it was more like the world saw what was happening, so Big Brother started cutting feeds? Like, did they even know that like messed up.
I feel like it was the world. I feel like it was the world watching feeds and going off about it, and they were just cutting feeds. But he did apologize later. There was a clip of him talking about it. I think with Izzy or Corey, somebody that he's close with, saying that he didn't mean to say it. It was a slip up. He doesn't really think she is, but he was just frustrated in the moment.
Did he use it in
out.
like this girl got a mental
I don't know.
problem,
Feeds were cut,
or
so
in a sense of like this girl is stupid?
Feeds were cut. We don't know how he said it in the context of what he said it, but all we know is that he said it.
I don't even see the point. Like, just say stupid. Just say idiot. Just say like anything else. You can say literally anything else. You can call her a freaking imbecile. Like, why do you have to call her that? Like, why that? And that's why I feel like sometimes people mean it that way. Because, like, for me, and, like, not even trying to be, like, holy or whatever, like, that word is just, like, genuinely not in my vocabulary because I feel like there's so many other words to use. Like, I can call you idiot, I can call you stupid, I can call you whatever. Like, why that word? Like, it's so long,
it was ridiculous.
Like,
so that happened. Ooh, sorry. So that happened. They played the veto, and the reason that sparked up was because obviously America was picked for the veto, so that's what caused that whole thing. They play veto, and Cameron wins the veto.
Of course.
So now there's a nice empty seat next to Red. Who's gonna fill it? People want Jag to go on the block, and they're saying that Jag is flip floppy. He has a whole 2-hour conversation with Red in the kitchen. Like, serious gameplay conversation. People were just kind of like, yeah. Jag had a conversation with Red in the kitchen for 2 hours, and people are just kind of like, why would you do that? Like, we don't want to hear that. It's just kind of seeming like you're trying to align yourself with whoever was going to align with you, and it doesn't really make me want to trust you, because why are you talking to Red of all people? Like, so that was that. Cameron and Red then go on to start throwing America under the bus heavy. And it's really because they feel like she's using her womanhood and her prettiness to get far in the game, which I really can't see, because the only person America is literally actively pursuing is Corey, and we all know that.
Girl that talks to guys on Big Brother off this shit, bro. Like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah. In the live feeds, Red says she's using her pretty to get places, and he feels that she's the Victoria of this season. Just flaunting around, doing what she does to get people to like her so she can stay in this house. But little does he know that America has a better grasp on the game than he does.
That pressure cooker, she gained mad respect from me in that comp. Cause you think little old Victoria's gonna stand up for no 14 damn hours? Like, just because that girl is up in front and in everyone's face and in all this drama, just because she's doing all that don't mean she's not playing. Maybe she's playing better than you. Cause where are you right now?
Yeah.
And where is she? Like, bro.
Yeah. And we all know that Corey and America have been cozying up to each other a little more. They've been sleeping in the same bed for a couple days that week. And Cam confronts Corey about sleeping in the bed with America. Like, are you really that jealous that you have to go up to him and say something? Like, just leave it alone. And I think something that's really interesting is that the show doesn't show how much of a misogynist and how weird and annoying Cam is. Like, we see the real Cam on the feed. They don't really show that in the live show.
Because, like,
yes.
Like, even before we recorded, like, I literally said to Dory, I'm like, would you be mad at me if I'm rooting for Cameron? Because it's just, like, based on the show, like, you just see, like, this freaking underdog on the rise. Like, it makes you want to root for him. Oh, yeah, he got targeted and he won. Oh, yeah, like, I'm all, like, Team Cam right now. And that just shows the big problem that a lot of people have with Big Brother and their editing. And that's why a lot of people would never watch this show if they cut live feeds. because like you have me, just a live feed, just like a live show watcher. I love Cam. I love Cam's journey. But then you have people like Dory who sees this weirdo that he is, and it's just like, Big Brother, what are you doing? Because it's just like you're trying to create people that don't exist, and it's messing with me.
If you only watch the live show, you're only getting about 25% of the story. I swear to you. Like, Cam is not the person Big Brother is making him out to be, but, you know, rightfully so. He has a reason to act the way he does, but at the same time, that's just him, because he's been like this since week 1. Like, Cam would never be a target if he didn't flip on his alliance in the first week, trying to save his ass. So, you know, he kind of did it to himself, but it's whatever. So, with Cameron being off the block, you know, Red is still there. They're trying to see who is the viable option to put next to Red. It was Red's birthday week last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Sari and everybody was like, you know, we really don't want Red to have a bad birthday week. Like, we really want to try and keep him safe.
Is that why they were doing it?
Even go.
Because it's his birthday?
Yeah, because it was his birthday week, and he went on this whole spiel about having bad birthdays,
Oh
so they
my
wanted
God.
to break that for him and let him have a good birthday week. They even go as far as to try to ask Cameron to use the veto on Red.
Who did that?
Sari, Felicia, Izzy
They have
trying to ask Cameron.
Nerve.
You think after the time in this house that Cameron had, he would use the veto on Red? That's like telling Cameron to his face blatantly, we want to send you home, so use the veto on Red so we can save him and not you. What world does that make sense? And what makes you think that you can, that Cameron would agree to that?
Felicia and Cerebro, them two, they be adding to audacity. I swear, like, this type of shit these two be saying to people in this house, bro, is wild.
Wildness. And after this week, my top 5 changed. It might be a top 2. Because I'm tired of everybody in this house. I'm tired of all y'all.
I'm a little disappointed with my assassin, but she's still silent. She's still keeping her head under. She's still making sure she ain't in the mess. So you know what?
Yep.
Technically speaking, my number 1 is still doing great. Even though she's not doing nothing, she's still doing great. Because who the hell is going to put Mimi on the block? Being honest right now.
Yeah, no one's putting Mimi up on that block. But still, it's just wild. And the last thing I want to cover into live feeds, and we can continue on. So we all know that they call everybody in for the DRs or whatever. And apparently there's a rule in Big Brother that when you're in the house, you're not allowed to talk about your DR sessions to anybody else in the house. So, and I've never seen this in past seasons. Tell me if you have, but Jared had his DR session and he's like, oh, so I went to my doctor's appointment and they were asking me a lot of questions about America. And it just put me on edge, and it kind of made me think, like, okay, now I see what's going on, because why are you asking me so many questions about America? America must not be really aligned with me the way I think she is, or, you know, she must be doing stuff behind my back that I don't see. And I'm just like...
He really said that? It's like he broke...
Huh?
You know what that's saying when you break the third wall or something?
He found that loophole.
Like, that's
talk about a doctor's appointment.
Put that 2 and 2 together. Like,
yo,
Jared is kind of smart.
I'm like, bro, Jared kind of eating, but he needs to throw the plate away at the same time.
Bro. So, no, I'm not giving Jared that much credit. Other people, you have to know, because if you're a fan of this show, if you're going to DR session and they're asking you about a certain person, you know why. But I just feel like no one else would say anything like he did.
Yeah, and people in other games like Survivor and stuff, they do say, like, when they're off the show, they do say when you go in your DRs they do allude to things that happen in the game without telling you what's happening in the game. So you could kind of use that as a strategy to figure out what's going on in the house that you may not know.
You know
So
what?
that's what
Now
Jared
I
was trying to
know.
do.
Because, like, I
And
never really know how
yeah.
the questions are, but, like, that's kind of wild. Like, okay, Jared,
Yeah.
like I knew this, but I
But
didn't.
Jared would have never had that if it wasn't for Sari, because I bet you Sari told him.
Oh, but then, like, why are you talking about this to other people? Now, other people can be.
And you know who was in the room? Izzy and Blue. Why are you talking to Blue? I just want Blue or Jared to leave this house. I'm tired of seeing them together. Why are you having this conversation in front of Blue?
I'm gonna be a hater
of all
for
people.
like 5 seconds. Blue, cut it out, bruh. You're not funny. You're not making anybody hee hee ha ha in your diary room sessions. Cut it out. You lucky I don't know this phrase. What's that shit called when you talk black? AAVE. Yeah, African American.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Bro, cut it out. Cut it out. You can tell me a whole story about like where you grew up and cut it out. She's annoying me. She's annoying me with it. Like, you're not funny. Hater moment.
Yeah. 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 So they go on. It was just a lot going on in the house with people in this drama. It was just too much. But there also was just a lot of fluff. Like, nothing interesting happened. Like,
yeah. I mean, there was like a little flippity moment that maybe we should keep Red. Maybe we should keep Red because, you know, we were just worried about Red and Cameron. But now it seems like Red is super pissed at Cameron for what he said and he's super hurt. So maybe we should keep Red. But then they obviously realized that was stupid. And that there's a good chance that Cameron and Red could come back together. So in the end, eviction night, Red goes home on a vote of 8-2, with Cameron and Bowie being the only 2 people that tried to save him with a blind side to them. And then that was this week. But a little bit differently this Sunday is this Thursday, we actually got to see the HOH competition from beginning to end. We haven't seen one of those this week. There's always a few of them where they just have kind of like a quiz type of competition where Julie has to read them all the questions. So we get to see who wins HOH that week, which is the week that we are currently in right now as we film, which is what, week 6? Week 6 HOH. Your boy Cameron. After they just blindsided him, threw out his partner, the boy wins HOH.
And he is out for blood. He's out for blood. And Cameron is not dumb. His diary sessions had me in a chokehold. I was like, Cameron.
Now let's get into it.
You are catching on.
So
Cameron's catching on.
So he wins, and once again, everybody is silent. This house is on.
It was so awkward.
It is awkward. Like, no one expected this. It's just like, what do we do now? So everyone's just like running around, like trying to damage control. Specifically, the Legend 25, because they were supposed to be the one that was keeping Red. So them specifically have a lot of questions to answer. And we have up is Bowie. Bowie is distraught. She's just really sad. She's just like, I thought you guys were supposed to like give me information, and what we had you had alluded to that a little earlier in the video, that like Sari was like basically tell her the whole school, like, look, sometimes people are gonna lie to you, and sometimes these people are gonna be your alliances. But you know, Bowie clearly doesn't really understand that, but you know, they're trying to like still trying to like keep her calm, you know, still trying to keep Bowie in their back pocket. And for once, Bowie is not falling for this. You know, they're telling her, look, like, Cameron trusts you. You got to be in his ear. You got to be his ear for us. You got to let us know what his plan is. And Bowie's like, hell no. y'all not gonna play me for a fool any longer. Like, don't make me feel like I'm just now on this secret mission and it's up to me to keep the group together after you just lied to me week after week. But
so Cameron is not having it this week. He is like, I am tired of the back and forth. Y'all played Heisem. Y'all played Red. I am not going to be the third one. So I'm going to throw both y'all asses on the block. And he nominates Felicia and Sari.
No.
I mean, Felicia and Izzy.
He let them. I don't know how I don't know when nominations.
So
nominations is what, like maybe like 1 or 2 days after HOH.
Yeah. HOH nominations is usually Friday or Saturday, depending on how the HOH goes.
A whole day. This man is like,
he had everybody in the house thinking that he was gonna nominate Blue and Jag. Mm-hmm. He had Blue in his room crying. He told Jag, I may have to put you up. And Jag's like, listen, there's no need for us to keep this back and forth going on. Like, we are both at the bottom of this house. You nominating me is just doing their dirty work.
And then Cameron is like, I see that.
Really rethink this.
Cameron's like, I see that.
And he's like, bro, if there's a possibility I keep you off the block, I need you to promise me that you're going to keep me safe next week, because something might happen this week that you might not expect. Mm-hmm. So just for now, just know I'm putting you and Blue on the block, and that's that. He tells everybody the same thing because he has nobody on his radar. What? Everybody in the house thinks that Blue and Jag is going up, and they're believing him too. Felicia's like, listen, I think he's telling the truth. Sari, I think he's telling the truth.
Bro, you know what I freaking love?
Nomination.
I'm sitting there watching, right? It's when Cameron specifically goes to Sari, and he's basically like, tell him what happened. And Sari is like, look, Red told us everything. He told us about your final two, the chillers. He's telling us how much he's trying to go after you. We were trying to protect you. He was trying to get rid of you. He was going to be targeting you. We didn't want him to stay in. Y'all really, like, they really thought Cameron was that much of a boo-boo to fool. That can all be true. And you wanting me out can also all be true. Two things can be true at once. And that was the exact situation. Yes, Red did hate Cameron when he walked out the house. But that was because of y'all. But just because Red was against him, that doesn't mean that you all of a sudden wanted to protect him. So Cameron saw right through that. And not gonna lie, that's when I started rooting for him. When he was in his diary sessions, like, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna throw up.
He was like,
we're gonna throw up Blue and Drag again.
He's like, oh, yeah, that's a whole lot of BS. I was like, Cameron, thank you.
So,
I
may not like Cameron as a player based on all the weirdo shit he's doing, but he just in this 1 week, because we may not have said it. We're gonna go into this a little bit more. We're wrapping up this video, but we just wanted to go in with the HOH a little bit because we did see the HOH on Sunday. We did see the HOH at the end of Thursday. But so we may not like Cameron as a player, not as a player, but as like how he is in the house. But
yeah,
he just woke up this game by putting Izzy and Felicia on the block. And I will applaud him for that because I was snoring till this point. So,
yeah. And I'm very happy he put up Felicia of all people, too. I'm happy it wasn't Sari and Izzy. I'm happy it was Felicia because Felicia's been a little loose-lipped this past week, too. And a lot of people are not feeling Felicia. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if this was in the show, but Felicia, Jag, America, and Mimi were in the bathroom, and they're talking about, the vote before Red left, and Felicia literally
it wasn't the show,
outed Legend 25. Mm-hmm. She literally outed Legend 25, and Mimi stepping back like, this is not the kind of conversation you want to have in front of these two people right now, because they is not in this alliance. So,
But yeah.
and then Felicia went and told Jared about her final two with Sari, and that she now wants a final two with him.
Yeah.
And Felicia just is talking a whole lot. Like, she doesn't know how to keep things to herself. I think she's very comfortable with where she is. She thinks she can say anything to anybody, and it's kind of just gonna go over people's heads. But you've blindsided enough people in this game the past 5 weeks,
even Red,
for them to see right through what you're saying.
Even Red, when Julie had his exit had his interview with him, I think he was like, he felt like Felicia had a lot to do with why he went home. You know, like, so even Red,
yeah, because
like,
so Felicia was the one who flipped the vote back to Red, like 3 hours before eviction. It was Felicia's doing.
Next video, this week, we will see how Cameron, the rest of Cameron's HOH go by. We will see.
And y'all already know, I already know.
She already know, but I don't know, so we finna stop talking to each other now. But
yep, this was a crazy week.
But yes, y'all, not gonna lie, these past couple weeks has been a little but we will start picking up now. You know, I hope this week is gonna be the game changer week. You know, people stop sitting so comfortable and thinking their alliance is gonna protect them and all that bull. So we will see where this HOH takes us. Woo!
Yes, we will. So do you want to get into top 5?
Top 5? Okay.
I honestly, I don't have a top 5 anymore.
I'm just like, I feel like all these people are just like, is either you're doing nothing or you're completely ruining your game day by day. Like, there is no in between. Like, you have people like,
yeah,
you have people like Mimi, Bowie. Who else is not really doing anything? I mean, Blue. Like, you have people that's like really not doing anything, and they're like staying out of the limelight. So I guess that's like helping protect their game. But then you also have people that are really playing the game, but are also like doing too much and starting to ruin their game.
Yeah, doing a lot.
But as far as right now, I do still feel like Sari's still in a pretty solid spot. Mimi's still in a pretty solid spot. Even Bowie is still in a pretty solid spot. Who else? Jared. I don't know, y'all.
Jared's in a good position. Yeah. Sari, like usual.
Even Izzy, she's still up there Izzy for me. Is on the block currently. She is next to Felicia, and right now I do feel like Izzy, as far as like the people that they are both aligned with, I do feel like they would pick Izzy over Felicia because of like all that talking that Felicia's been doing this week. So, you know, I do still feel like, you know, the people that we had on top, they are, you know, still on top, but they're just finally at a week where they're gonna lose one of their people, which is like you could still be on the top and lose your people. You know, I just think it's their week to lose one of their people, but this is also how this week went is exactly why I never had like an order for 5. I just kind of had people I was looking at because, like I said, in the blink of an eye, people are very inclined to do very stupid things to mess up their game. So, and that's happened a lot this season. But
yeah, I think Mimi could end up being another Andy, you know, laying low until like, the last minute and like, winning the game.
I'm telling you, like, that girl, like, is she doing anything?
She's doing absolutely
nothing. But then she's doing nothing, but then she's also in every conversation. She's never left out.
Yeah.
It's like,
interesting.
I don't know, like, she doesn't get ignored. Because, like, she still knows what's going on. She's always on the right side of the vote. People will still include her in conversations. Like, even a conversation where Felicia had kicked out Matt, Mimi came right in and sat down, and it was just like, she's my number one. I just feel like she's my number one. I feel like she's going to go very far. She's not doing a lot right now. I'm not saying she's the greatest player in the game or nothing, but for now, she's doing very well. So I'm gonna keep my eye. I'm gonna keep my eye on Mimi.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep my eye on Sari. Hopefully she don't leave the house.
You know, Sari and Corey are your people. I know Corey's your guy. Let's hope Corey get it together.
These people in this house just get me so tight sometimes. It's just like, but
oh my god, I
that's
feel like
all
this
we
season
had.
I officially entered like the 22nd century or something with Big Brother. I don't know. Like, this season just feels so unreal. Like, it doesn't feel like any other season of Big Brother. It feels too present.
Yeah.
It feels too 2023. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just like,
yo, it's crazy. But that's all we have for this week, everybody. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you get updated every time we upload a new podcast episode. We'll be on podcasting streaming services soon, like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So just keep an eye out for that on the Blog Podcast. We'll let you know when we have it all set up. But thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next week so we can talk about the veto. Because I'm excited for the winner.
Shut up. Peace.